Sony revealed what games PS Plus Essential subscribers will get in October, as well as a couple of new games in Extras and Deluxe, and a couple of State of Play announcements. Subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and now you'll hear about them. The first game of the October selection is Dead Space. It is a science fiction action from the third person with elements of survival horror. The story tells about engineer Isaac Clarke, who goes to the spaceship Ishimura, having received a distress signal. Once there, he realizes that almost the entire crew is dead, and strange humanoid monsters are walking around the ship. Literally, everything in Dead Space Remake is done to perfection. Graphics, physics, dismemberment, music, sounds, shooting, and story. All this is exciting, and the game is played in one breath. Such pleasure from passing survival horror I have not experienced for a long time. On Metacritic, it got 89 points from critics and 8.5 points from players. The second game of the October selection was WWE 2K24. The new wrestling installment features over 200 superstars and legends like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, The Rock, Steve Austin, and more. The game's visuals and animations have also been greatly improved. New modes were added: Cage Match, Count Anywhere Match, where victory is awarded if the opponent falls outside the ring, and Last Man Standing Match, where victory is awarded if the opponent fails to get back on his feet in 10 seconds. As well as new super finishers, new content has been added, and changes have been made to popular game modes. On Metacritic, it received 81 points from critics and 6.8 points from players. The third game in the October selection was Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. It is a visual novel that starts as a dating simulator with schoolgirls, where you have to chat with girls and compose poems for them in order to start a relationship. However, the game gradually turns into a psychological horror game with fourth wall breaking, and at first glance, soulless anime nudity turns into a deep drama about the problems teenagers face. By the way, this game was even once accused of suicide propaganda and leading to suicide, although in the end, no direct evidence and connection to the game was found. In general, if you try such a genre as a visual novel, you should start, apparently, with Doki Doki. On Metacritic, it received 85 points from critics and 8 points from players. These games will be available for download on the 1st of October. Along with the Essential announcement, Sony announced several games that will join the Extra and Deluxe catalog. On September 26th, The Last of Us Part 1 will appear in the Extra catalog. This is timed to coincide with The Last of Us Day, which is celebrated annually on the 26th of September, as this is the day when, according to the game's lore, the apocalypse began in 2013. Part 1 is a rebuild of the remaster of the game, made on the engine of the second part with redesigned character models, textures, lighting, and shadows. By the way, not everyone liked the new models, and to be honest, the first few hours were hard for me to get used to, but after a few hours, the withdrawal passed, and then it was one of pleasure and admiration before the game improvements. Yes, the game is old, but you can replay it at least every year. And even newcomers who have just purchased a subscription, I think it will be very pleasant to get acquainted with the game. PS Plus Deluxe subscribers will also be able to play 2 old but cool toys from PlayStation 1. The first is called Dino Crisis. It's a survival horror game which is almost a clone of Resident Evil in terms of game mechanics and gameplay design. However, the setting is completely different. The main character of the game is a young, attractive girl, Regina, who went to a secret base to find an important scientist, but it turns out that the whole island where it is located is swarming with dinosaurs. The player has to survive, find the scientist, and find out where these ancient lizards came from. The second game is called Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. The events of Blood Omen take place in a country called Nosgoth, which is inhabited by humans and vampires, and the protagonist is a new vampire named Kain. He has to go on an arduous adventure to find and defeat the members of the Circle of Nine. As the storyline progresses, Kain will acquire new abilities that will allow him not only to become stronger, but also to become immune to weather conditions, turn into a bat or a wolf and pass through gates, fight enemies with an arsenal of edged weapons and spells. In addition to announcing Essential and Extra games, Sony made several announcements of varying degrees of interest, and one very nice surprise candy. Here are some of them. Astro Bot will get its first free add-on this autumn, which will include 5 speedrun levels and 10 bots. The developers have also promised that there will be many more updates for the game in the future. LEGO Horizon Adventures will be released on PS5 on the 14th of November, and pre-order will open on the 3rd of October. For some reason, it wasn't shown that the game will be released on PS4, although I don't see any technical limitations. That said, it will be coming out on Nintendo Switch. It seems that Sony simply forgot how to optimize their games for the 4. I simply can't see any other objective reasons. At the same time, the rumors about the remaster of the first part of Horizon turned out to be not rumors, and it will be released on PC and PS5 on October 31st. If you bought the original game, you can upgrade to the new version for $10, which is worse than free, but still better than full price. And since I really love Horizon, I'll have to give that tenner to Sony to replay the first part one more time for Platinum. Metro Awakening, based on Dmitry Glukovsky's Metro universe, will be released for PSVR 2 helmets on 7th November, and Hitman World of Assassination will be released in December. Palworld, this year's much-hyped firearm Pokemon game, is out today for PS5. On 17th January, a new installment of the Mewtwo slasher Dynasty Warriors Origins will arrive on PlayStation. On 28th February, Monster Hunters will embark on a new adventure in Monster Hunter Wilds. The list of games that will receive enhancements at the PS5 Pro launch has been officially unveiled. These will include Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Horizon Forbidden West, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Alan Wake 2, Stellar Blade, Dragon's Dogma 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Rise of the Ronin, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, Dragon Age Veilguard, The First Descendant, The Crew Motorfest, Resident Evil Village, Demon's Souls, Resident Evil 4, F124, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, Assassin's Creed Shadows and Marvels, Spider-Man 2. These games are expected to have improved visuals or better performance, or both at once, on the PS5 Pro. The cherry on the cake was the announcement of the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. The game will be called Ghost of Yotei. Now, instead of Jin Sakai, you will play as the girl Atsu, and the events unfold 300 years after Tsushima in 1603. The game was created from scratch and exclusively for PlayStation 5, so visually and technically, it should be much cooler than Tsushima. I think that Sucker Punch will squeeze all the juice out of the console and show us stunning visuals, improved physics, interesting story, and most importantly, exciting battles, because they were the hallmark of Tsushima and gave incredible sensations from every battle. Write in the comments how you like the October edition to PS Plus and what you think about the announcements of games on State of Play, especially the new part of Ghost. Hit the bell to stay up to date with what games are leaving and joining the extra and essential subscriptions